Let's move into afternoon action. 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Chargers 4-3, 2-1 on the road. Philadelphia Eagles 3-5, 0-3 at home. We're at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 54 Fahrenheit, sunny, 7 miles per hour. This Chargers offense, 271.9 yards through the air, 104.4 through the ground. Defensively, they don't allow a lot through the air, just 203.1. It's on the ground where they get gashed, 159.4. The Eagles can do exactly that. That's what they can do against you, even with Miles Sanders out. Offensively, the Eagles put up 216.4 yards through the air. On the ground, 131.6. Defensively, they allowed 220.6 through the air and 123.5 on the ground. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with here. That's a first half move. Sorry, let's move up to full game. Here we go. Brady says limits are low early on the week when Sharps. Yeah, definitely. Line from 7 to 6.5. Limits will increase, and the sharpshooters back on the side of 6.5. And he retracted, but I know what you're saying. And I always think by Tuesday night at this time that they open it up for the bigger bets. At least the offshores do. But, maybe the Vegas books don't. But the offshores, you can make the big bets now at Tuesday. Okay, let's break this down here. So Chargers open up as 1.5-point favorites. That's where they stand right now. This total opened up at 49.5. It's creeped up to 50 or 50.5. Sean Dozier says really want to take the Chargers here, but line seems so short. Let's see what the cash flow is here. We have 3,631 tickets in, 75% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on Herbert and the Chargers. Then we have 63% tickets, 80% cash on the over. Sharon in the house, thank you for joining us. Chargers coming off a disappointing 27-24 loss at home to the Patriots. Herbert was on pace for a career-low game before going 6-9 for 70 yards late in the fourth. And the 24-yard score to Joshua Palmer that cost me a huge week. Herbert was 18-35 for 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Austin Eckler, 64 yards rushing, 60 receiving, 8 touchdown of the season. Keenan Allen caught 6 passes for 77 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jackson ran 3 times for 79 yards, but he suffered a quad injury on that big run. He's listed as questionable to go this week. The defense did not get enough pressure on Mac Jones. 1 sack, 4 quarterback hits. Cornerback Michael Davis suffered a hamstring injury during the second quarter. Did not return, listed as questionable. Asante Samuel Jr. is in concussion protocol. Eagles coming off a dominating 44-6 victory at Detroit. It was their most lopsided win on the road since beating the St. Louis Cardinals by 42 40 years ago. Jalen Hurts was 9-14 for 103 yards, also ran 7 times for 71 yards. I felt like I didn't probably deserve this over that we both got, Bebsie. And then I was just imagining Dennis Garcia just going, so much pain because he was, the Lions get held to 6 points. You imagine you're going to catch the under. And I felt bad for you, and I didn't deserve it. Goddard caught 6 passes for 72 yards. They ran for 236 yards and 4 touchdowns. So Miles Sanders on injured reserve. Boston Scott ran 12 times for 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jordan Howard runs 12 times, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. They become the first pair of Eagles to run for multiple touchdowns in the same game since 1980. TJ Edwards was all over the field, 13 tackles, 2 for a loss. They record 6 sacks, 12 quarterback hits. Lane Johnson had his first news conference after the game, so we get to know why he was missing. So anxiety and depression. So he got off the medication he was being given, and then he had withdrawal symptoms, and that's really tough stuff and legitimate stuff. And we want Lane Johnson right. We want him feeling good, and we want to watch him on Sunday. Protecting the quarterback. So Jalen Reagor, ankle injury listed as questionable. Arcega-Whiteside, ankle injury listed as questionable. Offensive tackle Jack Driscoll, hand injury, questionable. Safety Anthony Harris and Zach McPherson inactive last week. This is questionable this week. I'm very interested in this spot. Very interested to break it down. Take it away, Bebsie. Chargers, Eagles.
Look, I think this is a buy low spot for the Chargers and a sell high spot for the Eagles. The Eagles just come off a dominant performance, but let's not forget it was a dominant performance against the potential first ever 0-17 Detroit Lions. I mean, it's not like they trounced a team. And the Los Angeles Chargers lost a tough game against a better than people think New England Patriots football team. So that's why I think this is a game that's I don't think this is that sharp. I think this is a recency bias look at both of these teams, and the Chargers at -1.5, I think is is fantastic value. So I am going to jump on that.
Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. And I think that you are right. Chargers minus 1.5. They're saying that Pinnacle has a -1 on the board. Let me see if that is a fact, but it's -118. Would you rather have one? I mean, is the one going to come in? Would you rather have 1.5 at -110 or -1 at -118?
I'll pay 8 cents for that half point.
That's a lot of money for that half point. Let's just see what they're doing here. -1.5, -110. Okay, so you want Chargers -1 for Bebsie, Chargers -1 and -118 at Pinnacle. Yeah, I think you're right. Dennis Garcia said my line came Chargers -2.5, so it's not crazy value, but I'll fade my Eagles any chance I get. Birdie is adding the over in the Pats game and the 49ers money line. Adding the Pats game and the 49ers money line. Thank you, Birdie, for fighting the good fight with us. Yeah, it's a capping show, not a pick show. We cap together, so it takes hours. I apologize for that. I think this makes sense. Let's go back to the Sharps. Yeah, 75 and 80. Yeah. I think this is a perfect example of taking advantage of what everybody saw last week. And I plan to tail you, Bebsie. Before we move on to the next game, which I'm ready to do, would you have any interest in this total sitting at 50?
Look, free play, I'm going to take the over in this because I think both offenses are more than capable of putting up a ton of points. So it's enticing. And I think if you want to bet it now, because I do think that line or that number will go up rather. But for now, I'm not playing it.